Hello, everybody. This is me, Tony. I'm here with Connie on this side and Natalie on this side. I had to figure out which way I was going there. And we are going to talk to you tonight about affordable mental health services. If Connie points up like this, you'll be able to see. Yeah, there it is right there. That's what we're talking about. Affordable mental health services. So we're going to be focused mostly on Montreal, just to get that right off the bat. If anyone has any questions, if there's specific things you want to know, please ask in the comments, and we will do our absolute best to answer live. And if we can't, then we will get to that later. We'll figure out how we can answer that. But before we start, I always start with a question, and this time the question is going to be, if you could be a specific vehicle, like car, plane, blah blah blah, whatever, any kind of vehicle, boat, a specific kind though, what would it be and why? And the first one is going to be this way. Connie, you're first. If you could be a specific vehicle, method of transportation, what would it be and why?
A plane.
What kind of plane? A passenger plane? Or like a fighter
Yes.
jet?
No.
Or
a private
a private plane?
A private plane.
All right.
So I could just, with all the dreaming of that life.
All right. That's a good one. Mustang. Hella says a Mustang. 1969 Mustang. That's a good one. Natalie, you're up. What would you be?
This is easy because I've always wanted to buy myself one, but I would be a VW bus, an electric one, and I would travel the world when I can, because sometimes I'd have to travel, going over water.
Yeah.
But I would definitely be a VW bus and go as far as I can.
Did you know? So one thing I found out, I went to Mexico City 2 years ago, and I found out that the Volkswagen Bug, like the car that was like, everyone's like, oh, it's so cool. They stopped making it in the 70s in Canada and the US. They made it all the way up until 2003 in Mexico.
Wow.
2003, the same body style, because the plant was still there, and when you go down to Mexico, they're all over the place because they made them for so long. So that's a fun little fact about Volkswagens. I would be a motorcycle. I don't care what kind. I love motorcycles. They're a lot of fun. And really, that's it. That's mine. That's my answer. So let's talk about affordable mental health services. Before we even start all this, let's say, what does the system have? Like, how does someone go to a doctor and get a therapist using the public system? How does that work? Do either of you know? I don't know. Like, if I'm feeling like I need to have help. I'm not in crisis, but I'm like, okay, I need to see a doctor. I need to have a therapist. Who do I go? Do I go to the ER? How does that work? Natalie.
So yes, I can answer that.
Natalie, you were like ready to go.
Yeah, well, naturally, my first instinct would be to tell someone to go to the nearest CLSC.
Okay.
So usually, in every neighborhood, for example, in the Centre-Ouest, there are 5 CLSCs. So it could be Neige, Metro, René-Cassin. So anyone that's closest to you, you would go there and speak with someone when you arrive and say, I need help with this, or I'm looking for these types of services. How can I get them? And usually someone there, a social worker, a nurse, someone there would be able to help you with that.
Okay. And so what does that process look like? Once you see the nurse, do they give you a referral? Like, how do you eventually get to a psychiatrist from a CLSC?
Well, usually okay. Go ahead, Connie. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I was going to say, well, if it still works that way, each sector of CLSCs has appointed a hospital. Okay. So I believe the Jewish is, like Natalie, that's our sector of our CLSC. So there's appointed psychiatrists. So you need a referral.
Yeah.
So you could do it at the CLSC if you manage to see one of their doctors or that. That is the way for you to get it free. You need a referral, and it's
Okay.
usually done through your GP.
Okay.
But like Natalie said, you call your CLSC and see if they have another route to it.
Okay. And I know there's a wait list, and I know there's going to be a frustration tonight that a lot of people are going to express, and that a lot of people have expressed to us, is that the public system is very difficult to navigate in terms of mental health services. And so that's why we're trying to help you get these affordable ones that are maybe not within the public system. But it is important to know the public system and know that there are options there, and that if you need to get on a wait list, do it. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
We completely understand. We hear you. We agree with you. So, just if you get on a wait list, at least then you're on a list. Then that's the way to like start the process. So that's something I want to say, that like we have said, people have had frustrations around that as well. So I just wanted to get that out there before we even get into anything else. So let's talk about some other things. Let's hear if anyone has any questions about specific things. Shoot them to us, because we're really here kind of like, I have a big list of questions here of resources to refer you to, and Natalie has supplied a bunch, and Connie is like a wizard in her brain of stuff, because she gets these calls all the time, and so she can help you out too. And so for people who are new to Quebec, what is a CLSC? What is a CLSC? That's a good question. Connie, what's a CLSC? Or Natalie?
I think it's Natalie.
Yeah,
better.
This is a Natalie question.
Yeah.
Okay, it is a Natalie question. I'm looking for the abbreviation because I actually always forget what it stands for. Local Community Services Center. Yeah. So it is a place that has healthcare professionals that will help guide you to the proper resources. Okay. So they will know of different services that are offered in the sectors that you live in. There are places that will do maybe also general things such as blood tests, where you can go get checked right away if it's not an emergency. So instead of showing up at the emergency, you can make an appointment if you don't have a GP, for example, and be able to see someone quickly that will follow up a couple times. So it could be as simple as a urinary tract infection if we're talking physical things, or a place, for example, that you would go if you're not feeling well, if you're feeling anxious or depressed, you can go there and speak with someone, and they can help guide you to the nearest place that would better answer your needs.
Okay, perfect. That's an excellent. So I've got a couple of questions here, and so again, I know the comments, people are expressing their frustrations with the system. I get it. I'm not going to engage with these kinds of discussions because it's not fruitful, and it's not helpful for other people to just air your frustrations. And so just to let you know that like we hear your frustrations, but I'm not going to engage with them, just to let you that's not what's going to happen here tonight. If you have questions, we're going to answer them, but yeah. So I do have a question here, and so we'll get to that right now. Housing. Amber is asking, where is there housing? So Amber, I have a link for you, and this is our AMI-Quebec page that has a list of different residential mental health support services, and there is, I just posted it in the comments. I can't reply directly to your question in the thing, but so to give you an idea of some of those things, I know Connie knows of a couple of those off the top of her head. Could you describe like what they are and what it looks like? Maybe what a different residential housing might look like for people?
Well, the list that we have is varied. So it depends if you're looking your age.
Yeah.
There's the age, because there's also a lot of senior residents, someone who's living with a mental illness, but is it, let's say, maybe 55, 60 or over. It depends. Some of them are, I don't like using the word group home, but they're like a place where maybe there's 7 or 8, depending on how big. Mm-hmm. You would have your own room, but you might have a common area and you would eat together. But it's not a place that you just can go. Most of them, they expect that it's to help you with your recovery. So you're expected to do chores and things like that. And I think it's right now the best is to call them and see what kind of, if most of them are not very expensive because we tried that to put that type of housing. So, but you have to call each one, unfortunately. And I have a 24-hour person on staff as well. It's not like you're left alone. So, but just call and see. Yeah.
Perfect. So I know that there are some things on that list that are specifically for people who are trying to not be homeless anymore. And then there's also, there's a lot of things on that list. So it's really good to make sure you like look through the list and see. A lot of the things that we're talking about tonight are on our website. So I highly encourage you to check our website. This is something that Diana, who is not with us tonight, she is constantly updating the website with resources as we get them. So if we hear of something new, it's going to go on the website right away. Like Natalie gave us a link to some stuff and it went on the website that day. This is like a thing that happened. So someone else asked about eating disorders, and so I am just going to put a link to the eating disorders page that we have, which is our resources there. There are some in Quebec. They will best be able to help you. There are some outpatient programs. I don't know of any that are inpatient ones, but that's the place to look. I know that the Douglas has an eating disorder clinic as well.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
And so I would recommend calling them and seeing what they have for you or what they can offer you. So let's see. I've got a bunch of questions here, so I'm just trying to look through to see if there's anything coming in that is actually a question, or if it's just, there's a lot of people helping each other out in the comments as well and giving each other access. So one person is asking, and I saw it and now I can't find it. One person was asking, what is the delay if you go to a CLSC, and how long can you expect to wait to see someone for like mental health services if you go through a CLSC? Do we have an answer to that?
I think that would be difficult to say. I don't think it's possible to say the delay. I mean, usually in terms of just speaking with someone, I mean, it's not like the emergency where you can wait up to 8, 10, 12 hours to see someone. It's quicker than that in terms of having someone sit down with you and assess your needs. But in terms of finally seeing someone where they refer you, then that really is case by case.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it depends. Yeah, that like Natalie said, but yes, the thing is, like Tony said, put yourself on the list. You don't know, you could get the call the next day or not. But I want to just say one thing to clarify. When you say therapy, there are different forms of therapy. So that means it doesn't necessarily that you're going to call the CLSC and you're going to see a psychologist. Okay. There's the social workers. There's so many different people working in the mental health that is a form of therapy.
Yeah. And Connie brings that up, and she had actually a really good link. We've been doing a lot of like, we talked about this quite a bit, and we've been doing our research about how to prepare for this like specific Facebook Live. And one of the things that Connie brought up is this place called Expression LaSalle. So I'm putting that in the comments. Maybe Connie, you can give us a little bit of a description of what that is and what kind of services they offer.
Okay, so they're called Expression LaSalle. They are in LaSalle, by the way.
Yeah.
They're a nonprofit, free of charge. There's a waiting list, but the thing with them is it's art therapies. Don't be afraid of that. It's not intimidating. It's not. You're not. That has nothing to do with you being an artist. It's a form to express yourself because sometimes you can't express it with words. So they have music, drama, charcoal, painting, coloring, all forms of. So give them a call. They're an amazing organization. They've been around a long time. They are free of charge. They may say we have a membership fee for the year. I really don't think it's very high. And if you're not able to pay it, they're very accommodating. So I really think you should check into that because sometimes it's more intimidating to have talk therapy than drawing or something like that. So check them out. Give them a call.
Yeah, it's funny because I've said this multiple times in different contexts, and I'm sure I've said it on a Facebook Live before, and I've definitely said it in a lot of panels and everything. One of the best ways that I've found to like talk with my friends or with my son or my family members or something like that is we get in the car and I have a bench seat in my car and we just drive, and for whatever reason you're in the car and don't you make it a point where you don't have your phone in your hand. Obviously, if you're driving, you don't have your phone in your hand. Tisk tisk. But the passenger puts their phone away, and eventually, you drive long enough, people start talking. That's like what happens in a car. And I find that like finding stuff like that, different ways of kind of like distracting yourself from really focusing on talking, really helps. I found that playing video games. You know, you'll be playing video games with somebody and you're just sitting next to them and you just talk. And you're talking about life and things and problems and issues, and you don't realize it, but at the end of it, you're like, oh, wow, maybe it wasn't just the video games that made me feel better. It's like what I was doing while I was like playing the game. And so that's something that's like, that's something that I thought I should bring forward as like affordable mental health services, right? I think also part of this discussion is going to be thinking outside of the box. Like, what can we do besides relying on the medical system per se, that is difficult to access, costly, and there's a lot of like hurdles sometimes to jump. So we have a question here. It says, do we have a list of sliding scale psychologists, affordable ones? We don't. As far as I know, no, we do not.
No, we don't do any recommendations or referrals in that. We don't work in that way.
We don't recommend psychologists. We don't. It would be kind of a conflict of interest for us. We don't recommend specific people. We can recommend things like the Argyle Institute, which I have just put forward in the link, which has a sliding scale system. I have heard some valid critiques of the Argyle Institute. So that is something to keep in mind, that it's not always a good fit for everybody. Finding a good therapist sometimes is like going dating. Like you might have to try a couple before you find someone that's a good fit with you. So that's something to keep in mind. So
Tony, also maybe we can mention the community or organizations like similar to Forward House.
Okay.
It's not therapy, but it's a community worker.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk. What are you talking about, Connie? What kind of community organizations?
So Forward House is NDG.
Yeah. What is Forward House? For those who don't know. I don't know what Forward House is.
It's a community organization. Okay, so they have community workers. They have a day center. It really there's a lot. They also have some housing.
Okay.
And they also have a great, they work a lot with seniors too, a certain age group. So for instance, to give you just a brief example, not to make it complicated, because Tony's going to post the link.
I will.
Yeah, if you can.
I will.
It's a community worker is someone that you will be assigned to that works for Forward House.
Okay.
That would work in different ways. Sometimes you would meet every week for a coffee at a cafe. So the environment is not as clinical, but you talk to them and somebody to express and to share, but not in that medical atmosphere.
Okay.
And they're very informed. They guide you. They help you. They see what you need. And you could be with a community worker a year. It really depends. So there's a little bit more of an informal. So I think it's a great organization. I think it's been around over 50 years.
Okay, perfect.
There's
I posted the link
also
to Forward House.
To that one as well. There's the Wellington Center that has amazing services. They have a choir. They have, I think they do woodworking. They have music therapy. They have art classes. They have cooking, a cafeteria. They also have people there that help, guide them in terms of for people, for example, who have a mental illness and have difficulty finding jobs. They'll have someone there to help them. Find, according to their skills, find the proper place that they could get some work. And so they have really wonderful services, similar, I think, to Forward House.
It's like that, except that Wellington is in Verdun.
Yeah, that's in Verdun.
Yeah, it's in Verdun, exactly.
I posted
so it's that area.
To that as well.
Whereas Forward House is NDG.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I found out, though, sorry, I didn't interrupt you. I found out that in some areas, like Ville Saint Laurent or something like that, they don't have a community organization like that. But sometimes Forward House will go outside of the area. Okay, just in case.
Okay, so we have someone who's saying that the Wellington Center was closed almost 2 years ago. Um, the Douglas has a link to their site, so
Yeah,
I assume that they're
it's true.
still
They did
functional.
relocate, but I'm not, maybe I'm confused then, but they did relocate because I know
Oh,
that they
okay.
closed down during COVID. But
Okay.
I think if you call, they will definitely, well, not definitely, because now I'm doubting myself, but they
Okay.
will, I think they will be able to redirect you, yeah, with their services that they offer or
Okay.
offered if they've moved somewhere else.
Yeah, so that I just looked at that site and it was last updated in May 2016. So it could be right what you're saying that the Wellington Center is closed. Sorry. But call the number that's on that site and they can and you know maybe they can help you get another way. Someone's asking if the links, all these links are on our website. Everything is on our website. If you anything that we're posting now is likely on our website. Also, any links going in the comments, they're going to stay in the comments. You can always come back to this video and they will be there forever. We don't delete our videos. That's just where they are. Someone posted this. Jillian says that they called the Argyle Institute recently and their sliding scale is now only for therapy provided by student psychologists and only during the September to May school year. So that may be something that you have to keep in mind when you're trying to reach the Argyle Institute. I don't know if that's new, but seems like that's from someone saying that. So we'll have to go with that. Another person, Alan, is saying that the Jewish Family Services offers subsidized access to counseling based on income. So that's something to keep in mind. These are great that people are posting this stuff because that's what this is for. Having all of this stuff in one spot really helps other people find things that they can get to. So one more thing that I want to talk about, since we were talking about the Argyle Institute and their sliding scale is only from September to May during the school year. Another resource that is similar to that is the McGill Counseling Clinic. So I'm going to post a link to that in the comments. So that is similar to the Argyle Institute, if that's how they're doing it now, in that it is only during the school year, and it's $40 a session, maybe $50 a session now. I know that they were talking about raising their prices recently, so it just depends. But it's, as far as counseling goes, it's affordable. It is all students in the Education and Counseling Psychology Department in their master's program, and they are all seeing people. My only preface I'd give to that is that if you know exactly what kind of therapy you're looking for, it's a pretty good thing. And if you aren't really sure, but you're like hard-headed, maybe it's not the best way for you to get introduced to therapy. I'm just trying to be realistic about what's out there and what's available. They're learning and you're learning, and if you've never been to therapy and you're not really open to it, it might be difficult firsthand. But maybe you'll surprise yourself, and maybe the students will surprise you. That's something to keep in mind, though. And someone's asking if this workshop is being recorded. Yes, it is recorded. It is going to be on Facebook until Mark Zuckerberg decides to shut it all down, and then it all deletes. And then what will we do with our spare time besides scroll endlessly through the internet? But as far as we're concerned, it's not going anywhere. It will be on our Facebook page. The AMI-Quebec page, there's a videos tab. And so all of these things are in the Hot Topics playlist. I put them there, and I try to keep it organized on the videos page just so you're not searching through for months trying to find things. You can also search keywords, and it'll come up that way as well. So if anyone wants to find this after the fact, it will be there. Anything we talk about is there. So here's another place, Maison Mayo. So I don't know how to say that. In Villeray and Famille Nouvelle on the Plateau offer services of counseling according to the income. So it sounds like a sliding scale system as well. Thank you very much for that, Eli, or Ellie. I don't know how to say your name. Thank you, internet, again. So that is that. So we've got another question. I don't have any other questions. So if anyone has any other questions, anything in Hochelaga. Jocelyn is asking, do we have anything in Hochelaga? Or do we have a community organization that they can reach out to in Hochelaga that might be able to help? You know what?
Best is to go on our resource list. Yeah. Totally.
Go to RISA. Contact RISA. They are in the East End, and they will be able to help you if you're English speaking. If you're not English speaking, RISA may not be able to help you, but they will be able to connect you with resources in the East End. It's REISA is the name of the organization. They are very
I think
good.
what you can also do, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but there's 211 that you can call. That is also a great tool in finding things in your location that any type of service that you're looking for. You can put in the keywords mental health or healthcare or different types of services, and you add in your postal code. You can do this by calling as well, or you can go online and write in 211qc.ca, I believe.
I'm going to try and find that right now.
Yeah, and then there's like tons of different resources there. So that would be helpful in locating different places in Hochelaga.
Here is 211.qc.ca. So that's something that will help you find social and community services near you. So yeah, try that out and see what happens. So someone, if anyone has any, they have moving to Longueuil in a couple of months. If anyone has any resource suggestions there, try 211. I didn't know about that, and we just posted the link there. I guarantee you that'll have something for you. I want to tell a funny story that is completely unrelated to any of this, and about Longueuil. I never say it right. I say it different every single time. But when I first moved to Quebec, I came here from Florida. I had never been to Canada before, and I stayed in my friend's basement in Longueuil and for a week. And that was how I learned what Montreal looked like. Is I stayed in Longueuil, and then I came into the city, and then I came back out and stayed in their house in their basement. And then I went back home to Florida for a year, and then I moved to Montreal 6 months later. I was like, all right, cool. That's where I want to be. So that's how I got my introduction to Montreal, was through Longueuil, which 15 or 20 years ago now was definitely different than it is today. So there's my fun story about Longueuil. So Mark is saying, is a resource of therapists you can sort by location and price. That's Psychology Today, therapist.qc.ca. Whatever. Montreal. It's there. I don't have to read it. You guys can see it. So there is another one. There was one more thing that... here we go. Mark posted this, or told us about this in a staff meeting. Just so you know, Mark is a staff member, and he's watching us because he's spying on us. But he posted this thing called the Affordable Therapy Network that he told us about. And I thought that was pretty interesting. You can click on that, and then you can search for in-person therapists, and there are a whole two listed in Montreal. However, there is an online therapist section, and that is something that may be appealing to people. And so I want to kind of go into, let's pivot a little bit. We've been talking about in-person services a lot. So let's talk about the ether of the world, the internet, the maybe not the physical, but the not metaphysical. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just other ways that you can get therapy. So Natalie has this link here. It's this Airtable link. I don't know what it's called. But I'm going to post it anyways, and Natalie's going to explain it. What is this, Natalie, this Airtable link that you gave me?
So, well, there's two, I think. So there's one that are applications that are, so it's digital services for mental health. And so there, I don't know how many, but it seems like there's at least 100. Most of them, from when you look, they have a description if they're nonprofit, government funded. So most of them are free, and so there are applications. There's a few that I know of because I've used, such as Headspace, that are meditations a bit, a 10-minute every day, and There's the foundation, the Mental Health Foundation, I think that's on there as well, that offers, for example, CBT services for free for 7 weeks.
Okay.
And it's so they'll text you every day or they'll write you every day, maybe today try thinking of this in a certain way. So it's the different services that you can just download onto your phone and receive for free. So it is not for everyone. You do not have that, person to person contact, obviously, but it's definitely a way of getting some, some support, having an ear, or just having some tools to get you through the day.
Yeah. Someone's asking which one's CBT. Check on the site. Click the
There's
link.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, literally,
the one I have seen
click
is
Control
Mental Health
F.
Foundation.
Mental Health Foundation.
Exactly.
Hit Control F to search the page and type in CBT and look there, because there's a lot of things, and maybe that'll help
Absolutely.
you out. Yeah, and Tina is saying that Headspace is great. So let's just try to which site? The Airtable link. Someone's asking which site. The Airtable link is the one that I don't know. It says airtable.com, and then there's a thing. It's there. It's one of the comments. It's the last comment I posted, so it'll be there. So, what do we know of any other apps? So Headspace is an app. Like, what are now? Let's try and talk about like some different ways that people like can do this. Like, there's different apps, like meditation apps. Like, meditation is something that people can do that is affordable because you're doing it at home, or you can do it at home. So this is like, what are some different ways that people can do things at home? Do you guys have any ideas on that?
Well, again, I think in terms of using social media, it's not something that necessarily comes to us. But for example, I'm on a ton of Facebook groups. For those who you all have Facebook here because you're watching us on Facebook. But on Facebook, there are so many Facebook groups. If you type in, support groups or mental health or Quebec resources. Or a particular mental illness. I mean, there are so many, and on those groups, not only is there a community and people that are sharing experiences that can be helpful in what you're going through, but there also are webinars, and like the Canadian Association of Mental Health, they have a lot of free webinars, and for me, that's free school, because they're talking about it. They have healthcare professionals, they have people that come and share experiences about how they're living with mental illness, and so that's definitely an opportunity to learn more, to develop coping skills, to learn about places that can help as well. So I think that that's a way that you can get free and affordable therapy from home. Yeah,
perfect. I think that's a really positive outlook on the different ways that we can use social media, because right now I know that, like, I do not use Facebook anymore because it was just too much. It was like everyone was all blah blah blah, and so the opposite side of that coin of what Natalie's saying is like, drop your social media, maybe try not using it and seeing how that affects your mental health, because that's really like a thing. So one more thing, you were talking about webinars, and I think that there's one that's really good, and it's McLean Hospital, and I have attended a lot of their webinars. They're like super good. I just posted a link to there, but they also have a YouTube channel that has all of their old webinars on it. But I definitely recommend checking that out, because like Natalie's saying, like, sometimes going to webinars, they can be boring and blah, blah, blah. But if you're actually interested in the topic, like, that's pretty cool. I mean, their next one, April 1st, is Coping with the Uncontrollable. That's the name of it. So it's just like, that's like a pretty, it's a pretty cool topic. The Truth About Trauma. They have one, Ask Me Anything About Marijuana, CBD, and Mental Health. Like, these are like the topics that they're covering right now. So I think they're really good. They're really professional. they're really down to earth too. They're not like all heady and like academic.
No.
Which is really good. Tina's asking where on Facebook. Use the search bar. Ask your friends. Yeah, I don't know.
And often when you write in the search bar something, like I said, for example, mental health Canada or Quebec, you'll get some suggestions underneath. And so like this page, and you can scroll through all those pages. So it is really just type in the search bar and they will appear.
And you let the algorithm work for you for once instead of for Mr. Zuckerberg. All right. I was really expecting a lot more questions. So if anyone's got questions, we're here for a little bit longer. But if we don't get questions, I'm not gonna just sit here and babble to you. So like we definitely want to try to answer as many questions as we can tonight. One thing I thought that we could bring up, and now I've forgotten it. I remembered it 10 seconds ago, and now I can't remember. Oh, guys, help me out here. What were we gonna talk about?
We were talking about webinars, Facebook, social media.
Maybe while you're thinking, let's not forget that AMI has free support groups.
That's exactly what I did. I had that in the tab, and it's open right now because
and they're amazing. So we offer AMI is a family for caregivers, right? So the family and friends are $3 a month. We have a schedule, so you don't have to worry about that. It's on our website. But then we also have the other, like depression, bipolar. They're once a month, free of charge and no registration. And it's done through Google Meet.
Yeah. So this Monday coming up, so in 3 days, today's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days. March 15th, we have Family and Friends, Bipolar, and Depression. That's the support groups, and I posted the link to that on the comments. So make sure you check out our support groups. They're free, like Connie said. We don't like make money the more people come there. Like that's not how it works.
And there's no registration.
Yeah, you
right,
just
Tony?
show up.
So we don't know how many people are going to be there. Because of that, but also there is another group called Kaleidoscope. So that group is interesting in the fact that it's not a mixed group. So you won't have caregivers. It's only people living with a mental illness attending it. So you have another option.
Yeah, that one will be happening March 29th. And that's that. So someone's asking what is Google Meet. Hella's asking what is Google Meet. Google Meet is like Zoom. It's Google's version. We use Google Meet because it's free for us because we're a nonprofit. We aren't paying for Zoom. So that's what Google Meet is, and that's why we use it.
Tony, it's easy. Yeah. Tony, it's easy, right? Because they go to the support group and then there's a link, right?
You go to that page, you click the link, and it's going to open a window, and you're going to say, wow, look at that. That was easy. You just give it permission to use your microphone and your the video, the button, the green light. That's it.
I think it's allow or something like that, right?
Allow it, and you only have to do it the first time. There's also an app that you can download. If you're doing it from your phone, it'll ask you to download an app. Download the app. It's not going to hurt you. It's just a Google app. It's just a Google Meet. You use it. You can do it from your phone, and you'll be like this. You'll be like, oh, hi, everybody. And that's just how it'll look.
Tony, what do you recommend the best to use? A laptop, desktop? What do you?
If you have access to a laptop, I find that the interface for a laptop is a million times easier than your phone. Okay. Also, historically, when people use their phone, we get a lot of shots like this. So people are like, well, and then you get some taps of the phone, and so we get to see up your nose a lot. So just use a computer if you can. If you can't, then use your phone. No one's gonna yell at you. You don't have to go to anything, Hella, to the Google Meet. You just click the link and it opens up for you. It's very easy. Click the link on the support groups page, and there it is. It opens right up. Make sure you do it at the right time, because if you don't, no one's going to be there. If you try to do it right now, it's just going to say things. So
about 10 minutes before, right, Tony?
Yeah, we open the room about 10 minutes before, yeah. So Tina is asking if there's any other cool apps for meditation. Tina, if you're free on Wednesdays at 10 a.m., we actually have a meditation workshop that happens with AMI-Quebec that is free. So ditch that app and come do meditation with Bill. His name is Bill.
But you have to register.
You have to register. You do have to register.
Right.
And so, you know what? I'm going to post the link to the AMI-Quebec meditation page because I think that's important. Meditation.
If I can add, if just for the apps, I do know of another one that is called Calm.
Calm?
Yeah,
like
which is free.
CALM.
Like, let's be calm.
Okay,
yes.
I thought you said Kong at first, and I was like King Kong, and I was like,
no,
wow.
that doesn't sound very meditative. Well, maybe, I don't know. But yes, it's called Calm, which there always is sometimes some in-app purchases, but I really do believe that one's free, but I'm not 100% sure. And there's the Chopra, like Deepak Chopra meditation app. It's called Chopra Meditation, I believe. And, you know, his voice is very soothing and he has some really nice meditations with lovely music. And so those might be some apps too that could be interesting.
So just so everyone who is aware, as Natalie is talking, I am typing and pasting. So I don't know if these are free. I don't know anything about them, but there they are. They're affordable because they're an app and you can just ignore them and delete them if you don't like them. That's how affordable it is. It's free to look. So I posted a link to the Calm page, which is calm.com, and Chopra, I assume it's like Chopra, but different, I guess. I don't know. That's I hope it's
Natalie, does he speak during that?
I have not used it. I've seen ads for it, and but yes, I mean he does speak. There's introductions, but again, because I haven't like the one I used was Headspace, so the others are a bit more mystery. But I've had friends who have used Calm and Chopra and liked it. So
all right.
I was just introduced to something from Sylvie.
What is
our
it?
Sylvie.
Tell us.
She a lot of YouTube sceneries. I don't know how to explain it. She sent me one. It's water underneath. You know, you listen to the water, or there's a fireplace. It depends on what you're looking for, and it's very calming. You know, sometimes you just need to calm down, and it's just more like music or a certain sound effect.
Okay. Well, I don't have a link to post for that.
No, go on YouTube.
I just typed in YouTube scenery meditation in Google, and a ton of stuff came up. It's kind of like typing in cat videos for your cat to watch. There's a whole lot of them, and they're like 8 hours long, and your cat loves them. So you know what? We're asking ourselves. Here's a weird one. Something we're asked a lot is, how do you get a family doctor? Natalie, how do I get a family doctor?
Yeah, well, I believe, if I'm correct, that would be going to the CLSC and saying you do not and putting yourself on a list.
Yeah.
And again, you know, we know that the lists can be very long, but it's 100% worth putting your name on the list. And
there is a government list, though.
Yeah. So just so everyone is aware, I'm actually posting the link to that right now. Registering with a family doctor through Quebec, and it tells you how to do that. Registering to find a family doctor. The list to the waiting list on Quebec is the link to the waiting list on Quebec is right on that page. That is how you find a family doctor. Just to be forewarned, I was registered to be put on a doctor over 400 days ago. I still have not gotten a doctor. So just keep that in mind, that sometimes but if you don't get on the list, you'll never get one. So
right.
Exactly.
But in the meantime, while you're waiting, there's a lot of walk-in clinics, so don't forget, if you're not without care. But I think what I'm hearing now about walk-in clinics is not literally walk in. I think you may have to call in advance and see how they're operating. Remember, we're in COVID, so right. So it's not just, you can't just open the door and walk in. So call ahead. Just maybe you can, in your search engine in your area, you could put walk-in clinics, you know, and then might give you a list of
The
what's in your
CLSC,
area.
if you go to the CLSC, they have a list of walk-in clinics in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's on a piece of paper because I've gotten one before from the one at the
Wonderful.
Benny Farm CLSC because I walked in being like, I need to see somebody. My hand is hurt. And they were like, we don't help you here. Go to these places. So
okay, but also, Natalie, the CLSC too, right? You can't just walk in anymore, right? You have to...
That's a good question. Yes, you can actually, but I think that there's, it depends for what. So, I mean, if you're going for blood tests, I mean, you can't walk in for blood tests. I mean, those are appointments. So again, I'm not sure. You'd have to call your CLSC or the one that's closest, and depending on what you're going there for. But there, I think, yes, you can walk in. I have walked in recently in some CLSCs and people do so. But I would call depending on what you're walking in for. And if I can add too, for people who don't have healthcare or don't have the RAMQ card, there is Blue Cross that helps, and that is an option. And in the meantime, once you've applied for a RAMQ card to get health insurance, the Blue Cross can guide you, because a lot of things also aren't covered by RAMQ. So, but they can help you with financing whatever health issue care you may need.
Something else too is that there are options for online doctors right now. There's one called TIA Health. These are not free. That's something to absolutely keep in mind. It's tiahealth.com, and then there's also getmaple.com, and both of those you have to pay, but if you don't have the healthcare, that doesn't matter. So that's something to keep in mind. If you don't have a RAMQ card, they will see you regardless. They are limited in what they can do. Some of them can offer prescriptions, so that is something there are people without status who need to get their prescriptions refilled. That's a way of doing it. That's something to keep in mind. So here, I'm a little hesitant. I'm not going to post the links to these because you're going to have to Google them, because they are paid services, and I don't feel comfortable posting links to these kinds of like paid services where you're going to have I just don't feel comfortable doing that. So you're going to have to Google them. I will tell you about them, but I'm not going to like guide you there and just give you direct links there. That's just, I have to draw the line somewhere, and that's where I'm going to draw my line in terms of like where I can get them. It's tiahealth.com is one of them, and the other one is getmaple.ca. But really, if you type in Google online Dr. Quebec, you will get all kinds of different options that come up for you that are links that are capable of doing this. So that's something to keep in mind. There is also a non-status persons clinic in Villeray, and as soon as I remember the name of it, I will put it in, but I can't remember the name of it. I'm really sorry, but it does exist.
Tony, does that mean anybody who's not has a RAMQ card?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Okay.
Non-status clinic for, here it is. It's doctorsoftheworld.ca. So that one I absolutely will put in the link, because this one is a walk-in clinic. They see people without status. It's for migrant workers or just migrants general with their specific thing. The thing says on the page, it says clinic for migrants with precarious status. So if you do not have status, that is where one of the options, and in fact, as far as I know in Montreal, that is one of the only options that you really have as far as being able to walk in without having to pay. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know of many. I'm sure that there are ways to find other places. I just don't know of them off the top of my head. I am out of ideas. So if anyone has any ideas or questions, I would be glad to answer them or talk about them. We've been talking a lot about a lot of different things. I don't think we need to do a wrap-ups per se. B. MacArthur, isn't that the lady from Golden Girls? Mm-hmm. No, that's B. Arthur.
Oh.
It's not B. MacArthur. Oh, I thought we had the Golden Girls lady here with us. So compassionate meditations here. This is someone saying that this is guided meditations that you can get online. So that's something that's neat and interesting. What else do we have? So this is great. If you guys have any links that you want to post to share with people, please do. There's clearly a lot of people posting stuff, and I cannot keep up with it all. I haven't liked very many things. I'm sorry. Don't take it personally. I'm trying to type. This is the first time I've ever tried to type and do a Facebook Live at the same time, so I can post links as they're coming up. And it's pretty like, is what it
You're
is.
Good. You're good, Tony.
Yeah, you're doing
good.
good.
That is that. I've gone through all of my prepared links. I'm going to post our calendar again because I think that that's super important. Yes, sorry. I'm very sorry, Jocelyn. I almost forgot. A French group. I don't know of a French group. Connie, do you know of anywhere that she can call to get French resources?
I can't say right at the top. Go on our resource list under counseling, and we do list both.
Oh, that's true.
It's not
Yeah.
yes, we don't just list
Yeah.
English. We list and also there is also in the community. If you're from a specific community and you don't speak French or English, we do have that as well. You can look through.
So I am going to also again post our external resources, which is our resource list, which is what we've been referring to. 99% chance anything we have talked about here is going to be on this resource list. Find it there. It will be there. I just posted it again. Diana does an excellent job of updating that. I cannot praise
Also,
her
one more
work enough.
Yeah, she's amazing. Also, one more thing I wanted to say. So everybody's on Facebook, right? So Diana, we have an AMI page.
Yeah.
And Diana posts articles, wonderful things. She doesn't inundate the page, but you can go back and look. She's posted articles or things that have come up. So she's really on the ball. It's amazing.
Make sure you like us on Facebook. I know you guys are watching these videos, but you gotta like us on Facebook too. That's gonna tell your friends to like us, share the videos. This all helps us get all the word out. Jocelyn, hopefully that'll help. If you go to the resource page, I know that when things are offered in French, there's an F in the description when it's offered in French. So that's something to keep in mind. And it's
also,
E for English, not A, because we're
maybe what I want to say is if you're having a hard time finding the list or maneuvering, you can call and I'll guide you through it the first time. At least that will make it easier for you to find. Not a problem.
Connie is
call.
always on the phone during the day. You don't call us at 2 a.m. We're not going to.
No, please don't.
Yeah, so
it's okay. You want to leave a message.
Ella
also,
is telling us about Revive in French, which they just changed their name to
Relief
in French.
That's it.
In English, French.
Yeah.
English. We had one of their members talk with us about BPD. No, not BPD. Bipolar. Not bipolar. He talked with us in one of our recent hot topics.
Yeah, it was bipolar.
It was bipolar? Okay. All of these things kind of blend together in my brain, and I'm sorry. Please don't take it personal if I don't remember exactly what we talked about. I got a lot going on. So
you would be a special person if you could remember everything.
Yeah, to give people an idea, I have this Facebook Live today, and then I have a panel, or I have a whole workshop that I'm giving on Monday, and then I have a panel that I'm speaking on Saturday. So oftentimes those three things will all become one in my brain, and I'll think of something that happened in this panel, and I'll be like, oh, Connie was there. That's what happened. And Connie was definitely not there. Yeah. So sorry if I get mixed up sometimes. It's not, that's just life. Hella's giving us some great comments about Suicide Action Montreal, TELAID. These are all great helplines. They are all in our website as well on the crisis section. They are in listening services. I will post the link to that right here. If anyone wants the links to all these things that Hela's talking about, they are on the crisis line page and the listening line page there. I'm kind of out of ideas, so if anyone got any last minute things they want to like throw out there, ideas, let's finish with a question. I have a good question for you guys. All right, we've all been doing COVID stuff. Connie, what have you been doing in the past 2 months that has helped you relax more than anything else? Have you been able to relax? That's a better question. Have you done anything to try to relax? Or have you just been...
I do try.
Okay, you try. All right.
Okay, yes. I think it's been a little bit harder. I think for me was the curfew.
Yeah, the curfew was brutal.
That really...
It's so
hard. I know. I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm just saying personally, I found the curfew very difficult.
Yes.
So I found something that's just fun.
Yeah.
Audiobooks.
Yeah. What's the best book you've listened to so far?
Well, I don't have a best because I'm too eclectic.
Okay.
So I've listened to Jane Austen to Murder Mystery.
Okay.
And one of my favorite ways to relax before curfew, obviously, is take a drive and play an audiobook.
That's an excellent idea. Can I tell you
Absolutely.
one book that I listen to, and it's probably the only audiobook that I've ever listened to in my entire life, and that was Max Brooks' World War Z. It is the best audiobook ever. Hands down. They have a different character. They have a different character reading each chapter, and so they're like the voices are different, and they're just like, man, it is hilarious and scary and fantastic. So if you ever, it's not like the movie with Brad Pitt, which is unfortunate. But
what is it again? Say it again, Tony.
Max Brooks is the author.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's World War Z is the name of the book. It's hilarious. It's really good audiobook. It's like top notch. I don't know why that one particular book is the only one. I think I tried to listen to I don't know. That was the only one I ever listened to. So
and by the way, a lot of them are free too.
Yeah.
So your local library, and also if you're reading, let's say you have Kobo or something like that, just go through their free ones. So you don't have to spend too much money.
Yeah, don't spend any money on that stuff.
No.
The same thing for podcasts, actually. There's like so many free podcasts on the podcast application on your phone, such as, for me, I really like This American Life.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Amazing podcasts. Yeah.
Those are really good, This American Life. B. Arthur, I'm going to keep calling you B. Arthur because it's just so much, not that your name isn't great, but it's just B. Arthur. I mean, come on. If you download Libby on your smartphone, you can borrow books digitally from your local Montreal library.
That's it.
Audiobooks.
That's your, it's
there it
sorry.
is.
Yeah,
there's your ticket. So
Libby.
these are ways of like affordable mental health services of like relaxing. So Natalie, what have you been doing in the past 2 months that has really helped you kind of like relax?
Well, I would say that my main thing, especially since it's getting warmer, was walking. But I displaced a bone in my foot recently. And so, it's really put
that puts a dampener on everything.
On my walks. Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. I was like, well, now what? So anyway, so that's been difficult, but I'd say I've started listening. I always listen to music, but I've started listening to it more. So listening to it when I wake up, listening to it, in the background while I work, when I cook. It's just, it's so helpful and just stimulating, good feeling, depending on what you listen to, of course. But for me anyways, and just putting some life in my lonely and isolated home, because I live alone, so it kind of makes you feel like you're just singing with a bunch of people. And so for me, that's been very helpful in putting a bit more life in my day-to-day. And when it's nice outside, like this week, for example, I'd work on my balcony because I work from home some days. And so just being in the sun and having my music in my ears, it's been very helpful.
That's a great, music and walking. Yeah. You got it. You know what you're doing. We have a question, and maybe Connie can answer this because I don't know the answer to this. So Valentina is saying they're struggling to find mental health counseling and general services for South Shore residents for a loved one who's in need currently. Do we have any suggestions? I will first off just say try 211. We posted about that earlier.
Yeah.
Check that. And if that doesn't help you, anything else?
Go back on our resource list. I know we keep repeating ourselves, but one of the reasons is also we don't know. There's changes day to day sometimes with certain organizations. So go on our resource list.
Yeah.
Very easy. You look on our homepage on our web. It's in the orange tab. It says resources and publication. And yeah, that's what I recommend. And like 211 as Tony's saying.
We also have a support group for South Shore people that happens. So check our website. It's on our calendar. You'll be able to click a link. It happens through there. Everything, it's still going on. So that's something to keep in mind. It's on our support groups page, which is posted there. Tina's saying that she hopes your foot heals up fast.
Thank you,
Natalie. Tina. So it's 8 o'clock. I'm pretty tired. I think I'm going to have to call it a night. I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who's had... I mean, this has been like non-stop with comments and recommendations and everything. So thank you so much for everybody for participating and watching along. Thank you, Connie and Natalie, as I said it, I looked at the different directions. Thank you for like being here and offering your brains and knowledge and support for everything. You guys are awesome. That's it. So, do you guys have any parting words? That was my parting words. I'm done. Anybody else have any parting words?
I've said this a few times, and for people that have heard me, I repeat it too often. But for me right now, I feel like as isolated and alone as we may feel in our struggles and what we're going through, especially because of COVID, but just in general, I feel we have never been more connected in having to navigate what's happening in this world. And so we're not alone, even though we feel like it. So many people out there, if not all of them, are experiencing challenges. And so it's important to talk about it and to try and reach out. And we have to normalize these feelings that we're experiencing because we're not the only ones living through them. So,
Excellent parting words. Connie, you got anything to follow up that?
Yeah. Don't be hard on yourself. Try to do something special for yourself every day if you can, whether it's taking the time to listen to your audiobook or having a piece of chocolate or just be good to yourself. It's okay. It's hard, so you deserve some, TLC.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to part on the words of RuPaul. If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love someone else? So make sure you take care of yourself, everybody, and have a good night. And we will see you, I don't know, I'm going to see you soon because I'm here all the time. So I'll talk to you later and have a good night. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.